Every year, over 600,000 people are reported missing in the United States. Most are found within days. But some vanish and are never seen again. No goodbyes, no trace, no explanation, just silence. And in that silence, a darker truth often lurks. Sometimes the person responsible is hiding in plain sight. This is the story of a teenage girl who vanished on the last day of school. A father whose obsession crossed every line. A sister who refused to let the world forget. This is the haunting case of Alissa Turney. It was May 17, 2001. The air in Phoenix, Arizona, was dry and warm, summer just beginning to bloom. 17-year-old Alissa Turney had plans to celebrate the end of her junior year. It was supposed to be a day of laughter, friends, and teenage freedom. But by that evening, Alissa was gone. No one ever saw her again. And what followed was a story riddled with disturbing behavior, missed opportunities, and a trail of lies that still casts a shadow to this day. Alissa was not your typical teenager. Sure, she loved rock music, writing in her journal, hanging out with friends, and cracking jokes in class. But she also carried a quiet resilience. Her life hadn't been easy. Her mother died of cancer when Alissa was just 8 years old. After that, she and her younger half-sister, Sarah, were raised by their stepfather, Michael Turney. Michael wasn't a gentle father figure. He was controlling, overbearing, paranoid. A former sheriff's deputy turned electrician, he kept rigid control over the household. He monitored Alissa's phone calls, installed surveillance cameras throughout the house, tracked her movements with military-like precision. Friends were interrogated, plans were scrutinized. And Alissa? She started to feel like a prisoner in her own home. "I can't go anywhere without him knowing," she told a close friend once. "He always has to know where I'm at. He always has to be watching." She even said something more chilling: "If I ever go missing, look at my dad." But despite those red flags, Alissa did what many teens do. She tried to live her life. She went to school. She dreamed about becoming a hairdresser or maybe working in fashion. She made plans for summer, confided in her boyfriend, laughed with her sister, and looked ahead. Until that May afternoon when everything changed. According to Michael Turney, he picked Alissa up from Paradise Valley High School around lunchtime. He claimed they argued in the car about a summer job she didn't want. Then he said she stormed off to her room. Hours later, he said he found a handwritten note on her bed. It read, "Dad and Sarah, when you dropped me off at school today, I decided I really am going to California. Sarah, you wanted me gone. Now you have it. Dad, I took $300 from you." Just like that, she was gone. But here's what didn't make sense. Alissa didn't take her purse, or clothes, or her cell phone. She didn't say goodbye to anyone. She had made plans with friends that evening that she never showed up for. Her boyfriend said they had been talking about the future, not running away. And that note? Friends say it sounded nothing like her. Still, Michael didn't report her missing immediately. He waited until the next day. And even then, he told police she had probably just run away. Police took him at his word. After all, she was 17. Old enough to leave, they thought. But the truth is, the system failed Alissa from the very beginning. There was no forensic sweep of the house. No immediate attempt to trace her phone records. No search parties. No Amber Alert. The note was accepted at face value, and Alissa was labeled a runaway. For 7 long years, her case sat cold. Until 2008, when everything changed. A tip came in. A former co-worker of Michael Turney's told police he believed Michael had something to do with Alissa's disappearance. He alleged abuse, violence, and something darker. That Michael had hinted at knowing what really happened. That he kept dangerous secrets. With that tip, Phoenix police reopened the investigation. They executed a search warrant on the Turney home. What they found was chilling. In Michael's home, they uncovered 26 pipe bombs, over a dozen high-powered rifles, thousands of rounds of ammunition, and a 98-page manifesto alleging that the electrical union he once worked for had kidnapped and murdered Alissa. He claimed he was being watched, followed, that union assassins were going to kill him. It sounded delusional and terrifying. Even more disturbing were the hundreds of tapes Michael had kept, audio and video recordings of Alissa's life, phone calls, home surveillance, interrogations of her friends. He had documented everything except one day, May 17, 2001. That tape was missing. Michael Turney was arrested in 2009, but not for Alissa's disappearance. He was charged with unlawful possession of explosives and served 10 years in federal prison. Yet still, no murder charges were filed. There was no body, no DNA, no direct evidence. And when he got out of prison, he returned home, a free man. But someone wasn't ready to let Alissa be forgotten. Her sister, Sarah Turney, had grown up under Michael's rule. She once believed him, but as she got older, the inconsistencies piled up. His paranoia, his refusal to cooperate with police, his obsession with videotaping everything, and his volatile behavior. Sarah became a relentless advocate. She launched a podcast called Voices for Justice. She posted evidence. She interviewed friends and experts. She told the world what happened to her sister. And she went viral on TikTok, on YouTube, on Twitter. Millions began listening. She stared into the camera and said, "My sister was murdered by our father. Please help me get justice." In 2020, her voice was heard. Michael Turney was arrested and charged with second-degree murder. For a moment, it seemed justice might finally be coming. Sarah was elated. "I've waited my entire life for this," she said, her voice shaking. But then came another heartbreak. In 2023, prosecutors dropped the charges. They said the evidence was too circumstantial. Without a body or concrete proof, they couldn't win in court. Michael Turney walked free. To this day, he maintains his innocence. He insists Alissa ran away. He claims he was a good father. But those closest to Alissa don't believe him. Not her friends, not her teachers, and not her sister. Sarah still fights. She organizes searches in the desert. She speaks out at events in schools. She pushes for policy reform and uses her platform to shine a light on other missing persons cases. Because she knows what it means to be ignored, what it means to live without answers. She once said, "My sister mattered. Her story matters. And I will never stop until someone listens." Experts believe Michael may suffer from paranoid delusions. Others argue he's a master manipulator. But everyone agrees, Alissa didn't just vanish. Something happened. This case has changed how we look at missing persons, especially teens. It's a cautionary tale about assumptions, about how the system fails vulnerable girls, about how easy it is to call someone a runaway and close the file. But Alissa Turney wasn't just a name on a report. She was a bright, funny, ambitious young woman with her whole life ahead of her. She had dreams. She had people who loved her, and she deserved better. As of today, Alissa Turney would be 41 years old. Her room has long since been emptied. Her photos still sit on her sister's shelf. Her voice is preserved only in memories, in old home videos, in tearful recollections, and in the sound of her sister's voice, calling for justice. Because no matter how long it takes, the truth has a way of surfacing. We may never find Alissa's remains. We may never hear a confession. But one thing is certain, she will never be forgotten. If you found this case compelling, heartbreaking, or important, don't let it fade. Like this video to help others discover her story. Share it with friends and family. Comment with your theories, thoughts, or if you've experienced anything similar. And most importantly, subscribe to CrimeBot Chronicles. We dig deeper into true crime cases that matter. We amplify voices that have gone unheard. And we refuse to let stories like Alissa Turney's be erased. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and remember, every case deserves to be heard.